And the big story this evening, viewers, countries across the world today are making concerted effort to end gender equality and empower women who for long have been governed by rules predominantly favoring men. In 2019, remember, the parliament declared triple talaq illegal, and not just in India, in Saudi Arabia, the abaya was also banned in exam halls in 2022. Very recently in Iran, for example, the government disbanded the morality police after widespread protests for months altogether following the death of Mahsa Amini. But while we try to quash this gender bias, some of our own parliamentarians continue to betray our women. On International Women's Day, a video emerged of a BJP MP from Karnataka going on a shocking rant at a female vendor. Her fault only that she was not wearing a bindi. Watch how this BJP MP berates the female vendor.
But take first up. Hey, kodama yaman ka.
Huh?
Ganda badkid antane. But take first up. Hey, kodama yaman ka.
Huh?
Ganda badkid antane. But take first up. Hey, kodama yaman ka.
Huh?
Ganda badkid antane. But take first up. Hey, kodama yaman ka.
Huh?
Ganda badkid antane.
And while there's growing demand for action against the BJP MP, the party continues to brazen it out. Listen into how the BJP continues to defend its parliamentarians and says we must ignore such trivial things.
Our MP Muniswamy could have been more polite with the lady. But reading too much into it is unfair to him. Karthik Chidambaram saying it is Ayatollah communic culture. Does he mean when his father shared a room in 2013 in Goa, was it Talibanization culture? These trivial things we should learn to ignore. Otherwise, every day a new controversy will erupt and we will be focusing only on.
The opposition on that front has come out to hit out at the BJP and has called it a reflection of the BJP's mindset towards women in the state.
Mr. Muniswamy, firstly, you're nobody to really speak to a woman like that. You have no cultural understanding, no traditional understanding of this country. If a man doesn't know how to respect a woman, certainly he doesn't really know how to be a member of parliament. I think Mr. Muniswamy, who has contributed nothing for the people of Karnataka and especially to the people of Kolar, the most vibrant democracy in the world, comes from India. And unfortunately, we have people like Mr. Muniswamy who are member of parliament.
It shows the culture of the BJP as well as the culture of the MP Mr. Muniswamy. Congress party as well as general public condemning the statement of the parliament member of BJP. It shows they are not having respect in favor of the women and they are not giving respect to the women. The entire statement is condemnable, and the Women Commission of Karnataka as well as the National Women Commission has to proceed against the Mr. Muniswamy, and they have to register case against Mr. Muniswamy.
It's very sad that on International Women's Day, Mr. Muniswamy, the MP, has to tell a woman what she has to wear, what sari she has to wear, what bindi she has to wear. It's disgusting. It's something which is completely anti-women. And that too on International Women's Day, the Honorable MP goes and asks the woman, what are you wearing, and makes crude remarks in regard to her behavior, is a completely anti-women act, and this has really distressed all the women of Karnataka and all the women of the country. And this kind of behavior is atrocious. It's completely, condemnatory of women, and does not allow women to develop the wings with which they can fly.
Let's quickly open this up. We have BJP spokesperson Sudha R Halkai with us, along with the political analyst George Kurian. Ms. Halkai, my first question is to you, of course, because there's no misreading into what's happened and what's been said by the BJP MP Muniswamy. Who is he, ma'am, to in fact try and put out that question to that female vendor. She's very well aware of the fact that she's married. Whether or not she wants to wear a bindi, wants to wear bangles, wants to wear a Mangal Sutra, it's her choice.
And I do respect and acknowledge that it was not right for him to say that to that when, especially on not only on International Women's Day, not be said to any woman. Every woman has a and speech. So, but it doesn't stand the same for our party. Has always respected women in all the aspects. Any of these things we have not bifurcated for the women regarding their culture or tradition. So it is his personal thing, whatever he has said. So that is to the BJP. Of course, the MP of the BJP, but I still say it is his personal thing.
Ms. Halkai is a member of parliament. He's a member of parliament from the BJP. How is it that the party can tolerate this kind of a sexist remark against a female vendor? Because, you know, very recently, and let me cite this example, because very recently the BJP had organized a bodybuilding competition, and in that competition the BJP in fact spoke of high morals and spoke of how the Congress has problems with women wearing that gear, pose in front of Lord Hanuman's image. What happened to all of those ethics, ma'am?
No, I saying that still hold the same for it. Throughout the 9 years, and I think if you go through the history of 9 years, you can see that our government has given the highest priority to the women, take it any position in the bureaucracy or in any of the defense or
but
anything.
shouldn't the BJP come out and condemn this statement? Shouldn't they act against this BJP MP? Ms. Halkai?
I strongly feel that the national leaders will definitely take a stand and he will be questioned regarding this matter.
No, because you have S Prakash and we just played out that reaction. S Prakash of the BJP goes on to say that we must not pay too much attention to such trivial things. This is not trivial at all. This man has the audacity to say something such as that to a female vendor, and he's surrounded by several men in that area. And we have those visuals on the screens right now. Who gives him the right, Ms. Sudha?
Yeah, I do accept that thing that it is a mere insult to the woman. She shouldn't be questioned about her culture or the way she presents herself in this one. But I repeat that this is not regarding, it is not a stand by our party. It is his personal thing and definitely he'll be questioned about it. Our party has high regards to all the women. In fact, they are the one who came up for the triple attack. It was very sad act for us. But since we respect every woman, irrespective of
it's great that you're acknowledging that this is wrong and that action must be taken. But will action be taken, or will this neta, like many other in the past from several other political parties, go unpunished? Because that's what we've seen time and again happen. No action taken officially against any such motor-mouth leader by any political party. If we come down to BJP, Congress, anybody for that matter. Before I take it across to George Kurian, I want to quickly bring in a viewer. We've opened our call-in lines as well because it's very, very shocking what we're hearing from this BJP MP. We have Jayant Chandrasekhar calling us from Bengaluru. Good evening, Mr. Jayant.
Good evening. Muniswamy or whoever he is, he has no business to talk about women in public. It's their personal choice whether they want to wear a bindi, they don't want to wear a bindi. And who is he to question in public whether she's married or unmarried or whatever? I mean, he has no business. He has no business to ask those kind of questions in public. And he has nothing to do with the thing. If the woman wants to wear, she will wear. If she doesn't want to wear, she will not wear. Who the hell is he?
Absolutely.
I have a strong
Who is he to put out that question in the first place to that female vendor? For what fault of hers? How is it that he has the gumption to ask her if she's married or not? Before I take it back to our guest, R.K. Sharma also calling us from Mumbai. Good evening, Mr. Sharma.
Hi, good evening. I'd just like to ask two questions. Is this BJP leader, is he married? That's why he's sporting a beard? How can you ask these questions to a citizen of our country? Is she married? Why is she not wearing a bindi? I'd like to ask this question to the BJP spokesperson. Is he married? That's why he's sporting a beard? Can she answer this right away? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma, for putting it out in as many words. Ms. Sudha, how would you respond to that?
Yeah, definitely. I told in the beginning of the debate only, I've told that we need to be very sensitive when it comes to women, especially women, we Indians, I tell you. And our party has been very culture sensitive and and it has been sensitive to the sentimental of women and has always upholded the values of the women. So this is really shocking for us as well. But I told you this is not the stand of the party. As a party, will not accept it. It is his personal thing, whatever he said. And definitely
not the stand of the party. It's his personal opinion, but the party must not stay silent. An example must be set, Ms. Sudha. Mr. Kurian, are you convinced?
I'm sure my higher authorities or higher party leaders will definitely speak to
Can I come in?
Let's hope so, Ms. Sudha. Let Mr. Kurian come in. Mr. George Kurian.
Kritsween, I fully agree to your callers, Jayant and R.K. Sharma, who just made their points, very, very valid point. The BJP MP in question doesn't have any business to question any woman for that matter as to what they're wearing and what their discretion is. It is solely upon the individual and their discretion, first and foremost. Certain events and certain behavior of the saffron leaders, make you rethink that, they are still in the Stone Age limit, and their thinking is so oppressive and suppressive in nature that, they try to insult and demoralize the people in public domain. And it is really condemnable. And
Mr. George Kurian, before I take it across to Syed Aslam Pasha, JDS spokesperson, who's also through with us, I want to understand whether or not this is a mindset problem. Isn't it a mindset problem? I just quoted an example very recently of that bodybuilding competition in which women were posing right in front of a Hanuman poster, and certain Congress leaders felt the need to sprinkle Ganga Jal. They had to recite Hanuman Chalisa. What time are we living in? What's going on? What kind of an example our politicians are trying to set today?
National Women's Day, Honorable Prime Minister says that Nari Shakti for New India. But unfortunately, the other side, their own MP is trying to embarrass his thoughts, right? There is no question of walk the talk. There is no respect for women. And this is not new for Karnataka, right? And what has happened recently, we have seen Arvind Limbavali hurling abuses at a woman. And also we have seen another cabinet minister, Mr. Somanna, slapping a woman in Karnataka. This shows that this shows what is their cultural mindset. And let me tell you, women are building the nation. They are standing with us shoulder to shoulder to build the nation. They have immense contribution in the fields of art, culture, science, technology. We have women fighter pilots now. We have seen Avani Chaturvedi, who's become the first fighter pilot. We have seen Tessie Thomas, who's become the head of missile project. And we have seen immense contribution in the sports arena by women. There are multiple Olympic medals which are got by women. But having said that, what is the kind of mindset that BJP has? They always try to suppress the women. Today, we are talking about equality. We are talking about respecting women. This is a land of rich culture. This is a land of rich tradition. We have to respect women. But unfortunately, the BJP is entangled in all such issues. One side, the Honorable Prime Minister speaks about Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao. The one side, the Prime Minister talks about Nari Shakti for New India. But unfortunately, the other side, we have such issues happening. Definitely, the BJP should definitely look into this.
The BJP should definitely look into this. The BJP should definitely take the questions we're asking them and should come out with an answer rather than action on part of the party. Before I come back to you, Ms. Sudha, our viewers are calling us this evening. Let me go across to Meenakshi dialing in from Bengaluru. Good evening, Meenakshi.
Good evening. I'm absolutely amazed at the kind of opinions that are coming from, people, the panelists or the spokesperson of various parties that are talking, and including the political analysts. There are three things here. First, I condemn the manner in which this gentleman has spoken in public to a woman. Now, putting that aside, that's for the party to take care of. What I am concerned is the fact that on the one hand, you have a no bindi, no business happening where people are stripped of their bindi and given a very weird look in the advertisement and forcing it down upon everyone. And then you have another scenario where the bindi is looked at as a regressive point of view, and it's being spoken of as, going back in the past, and it's a very regressive thing. I mean, there are women who love their bindi. I'm one of them. And
Yes.
I take pride in wearing a bindi.
To simply put it,
So-
Ms.
so I
Meenakshi,
think-
nobody gets to tell a woman whether she wants to wear a bindi or not, whether she wants to wear bangles or not, and whether or not she herself believes in the very idea of if that is reflective of if she's married or not. It's absolutely bizarre what we're witnessing in the country today. Thank you, Ms. Meenakshi, for speaking to us. We have Shankar calling us from Ghaziabad. Good evening, Mr. Shankar.
Good evening, madam. I want to be very brief. I want to ask this BJP spokesperson why she has come in TV. She says that she will. It depends on the national party, national spokesperson. She not a national spokesperson. She should straight away condemn. This is shameful on the part of BJP. Election Commission should also note, and the BJP should not give seat next time. It's totally condemnable, and this is in continuation of one MLA being caught with course of rupees. It's really shameful. I'm a voter of BJP. I feel very ashamed. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shankar, for speaking to us here on Times Now this evening. Kumaresh Trivedi calling us from Hyderabad. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, that main function of the member of parliament is to draft a law and to introduce a bill in the parliament to curb the mischief. But not a single MP of India draft a bill, introduce a bill. Instead of that, they are involved in all other jobs which are irrelevant for the purpose for which people send him and pay the salary. The speaker, honorable speaker, should take note of such activities of the MP, whether it belongs to X party or Y party, and that he should be terminated from the parliament. That I suggest.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Trivedi, for speaking to us and sending out your message loud and clear. Let me go across to Peep Kumar joining us from Gujarat. Good evening, Mr. Kumar.
Very good evening. I'm really felt very offended that this gentleman is talking like this thing. Few days back, we have seen in the universities and the students were forced to take out their Mangal Sutra and all. What the hell is happening? And Mr. Modi, before it is too late, he should put all these members for a skill development training, how to behave with the community. They should not forget that they are the people who have elected them, and they have no moral right to take this high ground and say what is they are wearing. Anything any woman wear, it is her personal choice and wisdom. Nobody should have power to make any kind of this unwarranted comments. I am really have this shocking incidents has come, and it is high time that Honorable Prime Minister should put this thing into perspective and take a good skill development training classes of this all the member of parliament.
Okay, most certainly do agree with you, Mr. Kumar, that strictest of action must be taken against this misogynistic neta. He must not be allowed to let off. We must not just make sure that this passes off as just another headline on just another day. Let me go across to Madhusudan calling us from Hyderabad this evening. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. It's the power which they have in their hand, and that's the reason they are talking like that. Every politician should have, ethics which they should follow. And the polity should be very, very clear, and they should never cross the line. Anyone crosses the line should be punished immediately by the party leadership.
Okay, we have lot of viewers today wanting to express their anger at what they've seen and how they've seen this BJP MP misbehave rather, with this woman vendor. We have Prema calling us from Bengaluru. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. My opinion is this is a very, very trivial issue. Compared to North India, South India still ladies or women take pride in wearing bindi, and you are showing only the person who is saying it. There should be a view of the lady who she could be having the pride. Maybe she hasn't put it for a specific reason or whatever. I don't think it's a very big issue, and we don't want people like Tanveer Ahmed who have their own problems in their community preaching us. He is not the right person to be interviewed as well. And in South India, we take privilege. We are very happy to wear bindi, and this is a very
I'm sure that is the case. I'm sure that is the case, Ms. Prema. But the fact here is that whether or not, and I repeat and I keep reiterating this because that's the only simple point that we're trying to make, whether or not she wants to wear a bindi or she doesn't want to wear a bindi is solely her choice. Mr. Kurian, you heard the series of reactions coming in there. People are very, very angry. They're seeing this kind of a brazen behavior on part of this BJP MP and want strictest punishment for him. And this, I repeat, is a pan-India problem. We've seen several leaders from several political parties often resort to this kind of a comment.
Right. I'm happy that you have a lot of callers coming up and raising their concerns for the incident that has happened in the recent past in Karnataka. And such an incident coming from member of parliament, doesn't put the party in a good light. And I'm sure when it comes to we are in the 21st century, and such events should be condemned unequivocally from all domains and all parties. And especially when, on a women's International Women's Day,
very ironical. Very ironical that this kind of a comment coming in against a woman on International Women's Day. Ms. Sudha, your closing comments, because all of those questions are being asked of the BJP, whether or not the party leadership will act against this neta. Ms. Sudha. All right, not quite sure if she's through. We'll continue to track that and much more. Ms. Sudha, Saeed Aslam Pasha and George Kurian, thank you for joining us this evening. It's very sad that we're having to take up something such as this that has actually happened on ground, and this coming in from a member of parliament of the BJP while he is standing with so many people. He has the gumption to raise that question to a female vendor. We continue to get you more news and updates on the other side of a very short break. We'll be right back.